spoke to you a few days back about Jesus forgiving sin. And he doesn't want to condemn us, he wants to forgive us. When you look into Psalm 32, we read about the consequence of undealt sin that's hidden. The first thing is when we read Psalm 32, verse 1, he says, "Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven." Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven. When you look at the word transgression, it comes from the word pesha, that means rebellion, revolt, trespassive. That means rebellion. That means somebody who's rebelling or gone against the will of God, who has done what God does not want you to do. Somebody who is revolting or fighting against the ways of God. So if somebody is revolting or rebelling against God, if that is dealt with, he's saying you are blessed. Blessed. We want that blessed life. We want that life of restoration. But we also need to understand that the important principle, transgression has to be dealt with. Rebellion has to be dealt with. Revolt has to be dealt with. You cannot do whatever you want to do. You cannot live the way you want to live and expect God to bless you. You see the world, when you look at the world around, they all begin to blame God for things happening around them. But we need to ask ourselves, are we people that are living according to the standards of God? Are you following His principles? If you're not following His principles, you cannot blame Him for what's happening around you. You live the way you want, you rebel against Him, you revolt against Him, and then you begin to blame Him for everything. That does not make sense. But we do know, if you begin to bring your life under Him and let Him deal with your transgressions, that He would forgive you, then you move from a life of curse to a life of blessings. That phase of transition is always difficult, but definitely it's always good because it works out together for our good. Blessed is the man whose transgression is dealt with, whose rebellion, revolt is dealt with, whose pesha is dealt with. I want to ask you, do you want to live that blessed life? Then you need to come with your rebellion to God and let Him deal with you, so that you would come under obedience, that you would subject your life to God and then be transformed to a life of blessings. Once again, I want to say, we cannot do what we want and expect God to bless us. We need to bring our rebellion to God and come under obedience to His will, and then you will see your life transformed to a life of blessings. God bless you.